What's up everybody? In today's video, I'm actually going to be rating my viewers tier list from my Discord server. Starting off with a plat player tier list. This guy is plat on PC, so let's just go into it. First of all, we have a situational category. Now, as per every single other situational category, these operators aren't worse than anybody above them. They're just only good in certain situations. So, Pulse situational, I can see that. Kali situational, Glad situational, Amar situational, I can see all of that. Glaz, I think is less situational because he's more applicable to more sites. You can kind of play him wherever because he does have a better fragging capability because he's a 3-speed, bearing 9, frag grenades, whatever it may be. But I can see a case for situational as well. Tachanka and Clash being low, I understand. All of these operators definitely belong where they are, except for Frost and Twitch. I definitely think you should move Frost way higher. Frost has great solo queue potential, 1.5, low recoil SMG, shotgun for sight setup, a deployable shield, right? And her frost traps are an okay source of utility, but she's actually a really good solo queue operator right now. And then Twitch, same thing, pretty good utility. They buffed her to where she has 4 drones now. Her F2 does kind of suck, but if you use your DMR, I think you'd be fine. So I would put Frost and Twitch at least B tier. I would put Frost and Twitch honestly A tier in my opinion, but that's just me. And then looking in this tier, everything seems pretty solid. I would move Mira to situational because you can't use her on every site. I would move Ying a little higher, Malusi a little higher as well, but everything else seems to be pretty solid. And then B tier, Sledge is low. Solus, I can understand. Warden's really good right now for solo queue. You can kind of move him a bit higher. Castle situational for sure. Jackal's pretty low. Dokebi's pretty low. Lion's pretty low. Knock is actually pretty low despite what you might think. Gridlock I would put in situational, but everything else I pretty much understand. Sledge is really good right now. I get he's a 3 armor and he doesn't have the SMG 11 anymore, right? But he's still pretty solid. I'd move him up. And then Solus as well is actually a really good operator. Let's see. A tier, everything here I understand completely. Maybe moving Ashe lower, but I mean, other than that, this is actually a pretty solid A tier in my opinion. And then S tier, this is a very solid S tier. Ace, I don't think is that good, especially if you're putting Thermite in B tier. I think Ace should go in A as well as Thermite going in A because Habana's there as well, right? I mean, other than that, pretty solid tier list so far. We're starting out with a very strong one. So again, just more operators are situational than you think, but that's pretty much it for this tier list. And then we move into a tier list of actually one of my friends. This guy doesn't play the game at all. He has probably like 30 minutes max on this game. I think he's like max bronze, maybe even copper, honestly. So he doesn't know a lot about the game. So first of all, take a look at the S and F tier, okay? Brava, Flores, Warden, Osa, Gridlock, all in the F tier, while Amaru, Doc, Fuse, and Vigil are all in S tier. Pretty much everyone in E tier I understand, except for like these 3 in the back I think need to be moved up. D tier I think is pretty solid. Nah, not really. Buck can go up, Capital can go up, Goyo can go up, Lion can definitely go up, Mozzie can definitely go up, Twitch can go up, Zero can go up, Thorn can stay here though, fuck Thorn. C tier, she can go up, she can go up. She can go up. Mute definitely needs to go up. Oryx definitely needs to go up. Sledge needs to go up. Solus needs to go up. Ace is fine. Ash is fine. Azami needs to be S tier. Blackbeard needs to go way down. Ella's fine. Habana should go up 1 tier. If she's B tier though, doesn't really matter. Jaeger's fine. He could move up 1. Maverick is fine. Smoke definitely needs to go up. Thermite needs to go up. And Ying needs to go up as well. Other than that though, this is fine. Castle being A tier is a bit surprising, especially for low elo. Low elo players hate Castle because most people don't know how to use them and they just lock their teammates out of sight. Cav being this high doesn't surprise me. Yana's fine, could go up. Bandit's fine, Glaz is fine, Mira's fine, Nox fine, Pulse is fine. Rook, here's the thing about Rook, he is a terrible operator in hindsight, but he has the highest win rate in the entire game, so I don't know. Doesn't really matter if it's lower elo players. Valka's good. Pretty much everyone in S tier is fine except for these 3, right? These 3 kind of suck. Thatcher could go down. Vigil could go down, but that's pretty much it. Like, other than that, this is a low elo tier list. Chronically low elo tier list. I don't understand the Brava and Flores slander, first of all. I don't understand that. But other than that, this is the low elo tier list made by my friend who has 30 minutes on the game, so don't go flaming him too much. And then we have my old competitive teammate Slay. So this is not a ranked tier list. This is actually a comp tier list. So what's going to be on this tier list is much different than what you would normally see, but competitive Siege is completely different than ranked in terms of what operators are good, what operators aren't. So this tier list is not necessarily wrong. This is actually a pretty good tier list. It's a lot different because it's a competitive tier list, right? It's high levels of play, pro players, right? So that being said, this tier list is actually pretty accurate. Thatcher, Azami, Ace, Habana, Ying. I like that he put Ying this high, especially for comp players. Even comp players underappreciate Ying, but you look at teams like G2 E2, you look at teams like Dark Zero, they play Ying a lot to create pushes. So I definitely, you know, I can see why she's S tier. Lion, I think, could be S tier as well for the same reasons as Ying, but A tier's fine. I think, honestly, Slay, Mav could go down a tier. I think Mav was played like 2 times in Invite. I think there were more Amaru players than there were Mav players in Invite. Genuinely, there were no Mav players because everyone right now is bringing EMP grenades. Like, base value, Maverick's a good operator, but he just gets outshined a lot right now. So could go B tier. A tier's fine though. Zero being this high, a little surprising, but there's a lot of teams that use Zero, so nothing much I can really dog on here, to be honest. Warden, Nook, Castle, Mozzie, IQ, Vigil. Yeah, this seems pretty solid, dude. Best one yet that I could tell. Oryx, yeah. Ashe, yeah. There were a lot of Capcan players at Invite. There were a lot of Capcan players, surprisingly. So I think Capcan could go up a tier, personally. Let's see. Other than that, this looks like a situational category to me. Doesn't really matter. D tier seems pretty solid. Maybe Thorn could go up one because I did see a few Thorn players. And then F tier is pretty obvious. But yeah, this is a comp tier list, so very different from what you'd see from a ranked tier list, but pretty solid tier list overall. And then we have one of my viewers from the Discord. If you want to join the Discord server, link is down below. He made a tier list. Let's look over this. This guy is an Emerald player, by the way. So Emerald and above tend to have pretty accurate tier lists, but Plat and below tend to have pretty skewed ones. So let's see. Clash F tier, sure. These 3 being E tier, sure. Clash deserves her own tier, that's crazy. These people being here doesn't surprise me at all. I think honestly you can move to chalk it down one, I wouldn't complain. Let's look at S tier though. This is a pretty solid S tier. If we're talking about ranked, I like that Bandit is this high because you can Bandit trick those EMP grenades. Zero, I like for solo queue as well. Let's look at A tier, pretty solid too. Honestly, this is a really solid tier list. This is where I would put my A tier people as well. I think you could move Aruni up one. I think you could probably move Thermite up one as well. Nah, I think Thermite is deserving a B tier. You could move Knock one up, I think, as well. Legion you can move up one. Fuse you can move down one. Other than that though, it's pretty solid B tier. Honestly, pretty solid, pretty solid. Maybe moving IQ down one, I don't know. IQ's kind of goes wherever she wants because she's a little bit situational, but other than that, pretty solid, pretty solid. Take a look at C tier. I like that Ashe is this low. Wow. Okay. There's a lot of problems with C tier here. Okay. First of all, I like Ashe. Buck being this low is criminal. Buck is an outstanding vertical operator. There are times where Buck is better than Sledge. So if you're going to put Sledge in S tier, I think you need to put Buck at the bare minimum in A tier. Buck is an amazing operator right now. Capitao, you could move one higher, but a lot of people don't like Capitao. He's a bit underwhelming, so I can see why. I would put him in B tier. Castle, I would also put B tier. He is a bit situational, so if you put him in C, it doesn't really matter, but I like putting Castle in B for solo stratting. Dokkaebi and Lion, though, this is the most upsetting towards me. I think Dokkaebi and Lion deserve S tier. I've put them on S tier for the past like 2 or 3 seasons because of the pure amount of utility that they bring and their solo queue potential being so high, right? Like, let's not even go over their primary abilities, right? First of all, Lion's gun selection, outstanding. 50 round drum mag, the 417 DMR, and the best shotgun in the entire game. You have the DMR on Dokkaebi, which is pretty good, but on console, I can see why she's not as good, and the Boss G not being too terribly good as well, right? So weapon selection, I'd say a solid 7 out of 10. And then they both have EMP grenades, which are very good in this meta. They both have Gone 6s, which are really good for getting bulletproof utility. So already very, very versatile, not to mention their primary abilities, right? This is probably the highest skill ceiling operator in the entire game. Takes absolutely no skill to learn how to play him, but you can do so much with him and learn so much with him and get very, very good at playing Lion, and you can be very intricate with his scans. So you have to at least put Dokkaebi and Lion, for me, in A tier. And then Dokkaebi, the ability to get all defender cameras, the ability to roam clear very efficiently because of her phone calls, is very, very good. So I would at least put these two A tier. That's just my personal opinion. Everybody, what I've noticed though, is rating Jackal very, very low. I think people are sleeping on Jackal a little bit because he's banned so often, but when he's not banned and you play him correctly, he is pretty good. I wouldn't say he's S tier anymore, but he's so easy to get value with. It's like Lion. Like, you don't have to be good at the game to get an outstanding amount of value out of Jackal and out of Lion, right? So I think you should look at putting Dokkaebi, Jackal, and Lion all in the A tier. For me personally. Ying could go up one as well. Other than that, man, this is a pretty solid tier list. The only thing that really was out of place was the C tier, but like, dude, great A tier, great S tier. The lower tiers were pretty spot on. B tier was pretty spot on as well. But I think the only issue, again, C tier, a lot of these operators, I think you ranked low because you don't understand the potential of how like good they could be if you solo strat with them. So I would explore playing these operators correctly. I have guides on most of these operators too that you could go check out, but definitely start exploring with these operators in the C tier. Finally, our last tier list is actually probably pretty close to what I would do for a tier list. And this is actually my teammate. He is Breadstick. He's the guy that I play with on stream all the time. I think he's like max plat. He might be max gold. I don't know. But he recently started getting back into the game like 2 seasons ago. So he's not very seasoned at the game, but he plays with me, watches my videos, I think, because he's my friend. So he has like, you know, a pretty good knowledge, above the average player, I would say. I think he's above the average player. He's not exceptionally good, not too terrible, but he's above average. So this tier list is pretty good. Starting off with a very strong S tier. Again, Dokkaebi an S, Lion an A. They're 2 very strong operators. I would argue you can move a Rooney down. She is powerful, but she's not as powerful as like Azami. You know what I mean? Azami is a powerhouse of an operator. Ace, AK-12, I get it for solo queue. Brava, I think, could be A tier. You could move her down one, doesn't really matter to me. And then you have the SAS operators, right? Where's Thatcher? Wow. Okay, situational. So situational category, we'll go over that later. But yeah, SAS operators, all of them, maybe excluding Thatcher, need to all be A or S tier. They're pretty good. Solus this high, Osa this high. I like this. I like this. I like that you put Oryx and Capcan this high because of the meta that we're in right now. Mozzie, Flores, Goyo. This is solid, dude. This is very, very solid. You could move Goyo down one, but honestly, his 1.5 is so good. I like this tier list. This is very, very good. A lot of people put Smoke in S. I don't think it's Smoke's meta right now, though, because everything's so fast-paced. So Smoke A, I think, is probably the most fair placement. I like that you put Wall Denial so low, because having walls open or closed doesn't matter as much, because we're in a very team deathmatch heavy meta. And then I like that you put Jaeger, and Wamai for that matter, pretty low as well, because again, not many people are using frag grenades. G2, the team that won Invite, did not have Wamai or Jaeger hardly at all in their team comp. At all, which is like unheard of, right? But they were first place, so can't really knock it. Echo, very, very high on a tier list. Doc, also very, very high. That is a bit weird, but we'll go back over that. Situational, Glaz, Mira, Amaru, Nock, Pulse, Tachanka, Thatcher. I feel like you could bring him everywhere, but you don't really need to get a wall open on some sides, so I could see situational. Honestly, that makes more sense. Castle, Warden. I think Warden you can move up one. He's becoming really meta because he has a 1.5 and an MPX with a deployable shield and an ability that's applicable to every single round. So he's not really situational. You can bring him all the time, really. Ying, situational if they have a Warden, because Warden's so common, right? So I understand that. Capital, I understand. Castle, I understand. So pretty solid situational category. C tier, though. I don't know what is up with my viewers and having a dog shit C tier. Sorry, Joms. But like, what is this? Hibana, criminally low. There are a lot of alternatives to Hibana. There's better hard breachers, there's hard breaching charges, but Hibana's value does not lie in the fact that you can get hatches open. If you wanted to get 2 hatches open, again, bring hard breaching charges, right? Hibana's value lies in the fact that she has so much hard breach. She has the most hard breach out of anybody in the entire game because she can split it from 6 to 4 to 2 hard breaches, right? An outstanding amount of hard breach. So what I do, if they have a castle, I can use 2 Hibana pellets per castle. I can open up all 4 castle barricades, and I can open up a wall, and I can open up a hatch, and I can put like Hibana pellets on soft floor next to deployable shields to get deployable shields. You can get mirrors with her, you can get bulletproof cameras with her, and you can do all of that within 1 round because she has so many pellets. So her power lies in her versatility, not necessarily getting hatches. So if you learned that and you played her more of like a soft and hard breacher instead of just a hatch getter, I think you would understand her value and put her higher on the list. Ella, I understand. Elamite could be placed higher just for solo queue, but she lost her 1.5, so I understand that too. I understand everything here, really. I would put Maverick B tier, maybe even situational. C tier is a bit of a stretch. I don't think he's as bad as Finka or Gridlock. He is outshined by EMP grenades. It is not his meta at all. He got played like 1 or 2 times in Invite, but he's still an uncounterable hard breach, right? So at a certain point, you got to put him a little higher, but I understand C tier for sure. Everything else here makes sense, and then these 2 down here make sense. So pretty solid tier list overall. Just kidding, that was not the last one. I had one submitted last second by my content creator friend Bonfire, and he is a console. Dude, what the fuck do you want? Yo. I already went to the gym.
How do you know?
Because it's 8 o'clock and you're calling me.
Good point.
I'm working on video stuff right now, but by the time you get back, I'll probably be free to do anything.
Okay.
Alright, later.
Yeah.
This content creator friend is console, so his list is going to look a bit different than mine. With that being said, let's get into it. So again, we're on console, so Rook, Thunderbird, and Capcan, and Oryx for that matter being this high does not surprise me. Rook actually has a very high win percentage. Even on PC, he has one of the highest win percentages. I think he has the highest win percentage actually in the entire game. Pretty crazy. And then Capcan, always good on console, always good in general. Thunderbird, very good on console. Really all of these operators, honestly, are solid picks. Brava could go lower, but we still have yet to see, like, how good she is. I think she's a bit underwhelming personally, but she is still a pretty solid operator, so that's fair. Azami being this low is wild. I feel like Azami is an S tier pick, but I'd imagine she's probably way more powerful on PC because people can like easily hit heads through like pixel angles and whatnot with Azami barricades, which I imagine would be a lot harder to do on console. I don't really know. I'm not a console gamer, so I don't know the meta there. He makes content for console, so he probably knows more than I do, to be honest. And then Dokkaebi, I like that she's as high. Lion is pretty low though, but whatever. These low tier picks make sense. This makes sense here. It's funny, I see a lot of console people hating on Flores, and I don't understand why. Like, he has a lot of good utility clear. Like 4 explosive drones, that gets all the barbed wire, all the Melusi Banshees, all the deployable shields, all the Azami barricades. So I feel like Flores is really good. I wonder if because like Mute is so high and Mozzie is, you know, middle of the pack, then maybe he's just less meta. I don't know. This is a really solid B tier. I can agree with pretty much everything here. But with that out of the way, that's pretty much it for the entire video. If you want your tier list reviewed, or you just want to interact with me and be in my videos, join the Discord server down below, sub to the channel down below as well. Like the video if you liked it. My name's Alec, and I will see you on the next video. Later.